Who wants a mustache ride? You do, don't you? Come on, just say it. For you,
that
anything.
was on a fucking guy's t-shirt in a movie that we're seeing. That's like going to a Rolling Stones concert and a guy's wearing a Rolling Stones concert t-shirt. Douche.
You just want it. You come on. You want
A mustache ride?
You want it, yes. Come on.
As long as you understand. Yeah. Fine. Yes, I do want a mustache.
Oh,
ride.
I knew it. I knew it. Eventually you would.
From your mom. Oh!
Welcome, everybody. Oh, look at this. Oh, okay, wow. Ooh, wish I could grow this kind of stash. Very nice. Welcome, everybody.
Not with that attitude, you will.
To a brand new movie review where we talk about Super Troopers 2. And, wow, you know what? The first film, I got it here on DVD here, Super Troopers, right here. Super Troopers. It's not backwards, that's just how the cover is. So, 2001.
Yep.
2001.
And I don't remember much of it, or a lot, because it's so long ago.
Back in 2001, I was just leaving high school.
Oh.
So, this was right up my alley back in the day. Now we're in 2018. I'm much older. I'm a little more refined.
You are.
Dare I should say.
The mustache you had.
Yes.
The mustache you grew just a moment ago.
Ooh, yes. Ooh.
You got it back. How did you do that so quickly? So glad you're not my comedy writer.
But I was really wanting another one from these guys. Now, I will say this much. The Broken Lizard comedy group, you know, Super Troopers was fantastic. They've made other ones like Club Dread, which I really did like Club Dread a lot. Also, Beer Fest.
17 Beer
Oh, God, really? Beer Fest is so great. Beer Fest is great, and then they kind of weren't doing so great in comedies, and then they kind of all went their separate ways, and all this jazz, did other things. And then around 2015 or so, they had a like an Indiegogo campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. And they wanted to raise $2 million to try to do the sequel. They got over $2 million within 24 hours.
Oh.
Yes.
So that's a pretty big fan base.
Oh, it's a huge fan base. And basically, they raised, I think, about $5 or $6 million at the end of the campaign. And so now we're finally getting the sequel. It's here after all the casting and everything they had to do, all that jazz, finally getting it out there. And where do you want to start with Super Troopers 2, sir? Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what you're thinking.
I just told you that
Yes.
that the humor in this is juvenile,
Yeah.
but it works.
It does.
It's not, I mean, it is really goofy. It is like, oh boy, here we go with this joke. But if you're a fan of the first one,
yeah.
which I'm kind of slightly remembering
Okay.
what that was,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy this one.
I think so too. And there was a lot of people in the theater who were definitely
Laughing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And I mean, it's kind of funny because again, when that first movie came out, to the age I was to now, I was worried going into this film.
I had low expectations going into this film. When you said, Ron, Super Troopers 2, what are you doing? I'm like, because I'm trying to remember the first one. I'm like,
yeah.
I knew I slightly liked it, I think. I'm trying to remember. There's some scenes in there I remember enjoying. But I just,
Okay.
it's just all, it's very, very fuzzy. And, yeah. Was that wrong?
No, it's not. It's all good.
Okay.
And no, but I mean, my thought about it is my thing is, look, at the end of the day, the comedy is what the comedy is. It's the same as what the first film is, so it hasn't changed. These actors and these people have gotten older, but they wanted to stick with the same type of comedy that it actually got them through with the first film. And look, I mean, everybody's back here, or mostly everybody. All the guys, the Broken Lizard crew, they're all back. Brian Cox is back. The chick that was one of the cops, she's back, and she's in the beginning of the film.
Okay.
She's back. Yeah, a lot of those people are back. You've also got some other interesting people. You got Linda Carter in here in a small role.
Yeah, not even a cameo. It's
It's a little bit of
about
What,
a
like-
very, very, very small
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 part.
part
You got Rob Lowe in here.
as almost a
What is it?
so, a I would say second what do you call it
What, like?
not a supporting role, but a
Well, yeah, supporting.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that's what
okay,
supporting
that's what it
I
is.
said.
Okay.
I mean, but he plays sort of the mayor of this town, Canadian town, and basically they have to take over this Canadian town because basically, in a nutshell, they found that actually
The markers are off, and so Vermont is actually larger than it is.
yeah, so it's kind of cut it out a little bit more, and they have to take it over. So they take it over for the Mounties, and
Some animosity between
Yes.
the Mounties and the cops.
they're not exactly welcome.
No.
No, they're not welcome. And I mean, and there is a similar plot to the first film, the idea of drugs and the idea of, possibly a double crossing kind of thing that they have to get into. But I mean, I want to know from you. I mean, do you think like this, I mean, because comedies have changed so much from when Super Troopers came out in 2001 to now.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like horror, where horror used to be it wasn't all jump scares.
The true.
I'm not saying it's all jump scares now, or it's not either jump scares or it's like really vile. Like
Yes.
it's for shock value.
Yes. Yes.
And it's okay. Sometimes shock value and jump scares are fine, but
Yeah.
when it's almost all the plot,
Yes.
or it's all the it's in the script, it's like, really, we're going down this road?
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
like
know.
we need to have Leatherface. I'm not saying this. The new Leatherface. Oh, Leatherface raped somebody. I'm like, do we need to have that?
Yeah, I
do
know.
we
It's,
do we need to see Leatherface skin someone alive, and you actually see the skin peel for the
Yeah,
shock
like-
value? No, the
No,
idea
you
of
don't.
Leatherface
You
as
don't.
a
I mean-
brutal killer is enough. For comedies, it seems to it's almost like now like a little too political, a little too it's no one is like it's afraid of making fun of people or a group. This type, it's I think it's phenomenal.
Well, I mean, let me ask you, because you brought up a really good point before we started this about comedy and letting things flow a little bit better.
Yeah, well, I can't take credit for this because but it's like between the first Ghostbusters and the remake.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with them being women. Actually, I was like, women, I'm like, all right, we'll see where this
Yeah,
goes.
it's on there.
There's a scene where, and again, I wish I could quote. I don't know if it was, I forgot who it was some people online
Okay,
who
people
said this, so I can't quote them directly. I wish I could.
Okay.
But there's a scene where they're in the hotel room,
Okay.
and they're hunting the ghost, and they're looking for the ghost, and this lady, the maid, just opens the door, and they just out of
Yeah.
with the proton packs,
Sure.
blows it up, and she's like, "What the hell is going on?" And then they and the guys very like 10 seconds of just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Going, sorry. It's that nervous, quiet that they have.
Yes.
That makes it fun. It makes it it's funny. If that scene was made now.
Yes.
And then they go sorry, and run away.
And then cut to the next comedy scene.
Right, and it was like rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. We need jokes now. There's no joke. Wait a minute, 10 seconds later. 10 seconds. Oh, there's no joke in this.
God, 10
seconds. No, let it set like wine. I don't drink wine, but you don't just pop it up and just pour it. No, you let it set. You let it breathe. And in the remake,
yeah,
they didn't let jokes breathe. They're just rat-a-tat-tat like a machine gun. Where you want a better impact would be like a handheld gun or a Magnum.
Yeah.
And you pow. That's what you want your.
Sorry, I had to.
You're like Carrot Top now. You have props everywhere.
Carrot Top was kind of cool.
Well, he is, but until he went nanners. But no, not physically nanners.
But no. But look. Do you think this film does that, like the remake, that it just goes for
it does. I mean, it's not rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, but there is a beat and it is fast, but it works. It works with this crew.
Yes, for some reason.
And also, not to rest on the remake, the problem is. They were improvising all the time, doing improv.
Yeah.
And it's like, improv is nice with certain people.
Yes.
Certain individuals can improv really well, but when you're doing a major motion picture, you just, you know what? Maybe do a second take where it's the script and other doing improv.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like it's an improv. Even though I feel it might have been some improv with that crew.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel that way.
I still feel like for some reason, and you're absolutely right, a lot of times doing the fast-paced jokes and everything, it doesn't work. For some reason, this crew, it works. And
they have the formula because I'm not too familiar with their work.
Yeah.
Other than like the first movie and now here the second one, I'm not familiar with the how good they are. But seeing this, they do each with each other. They have a rhythm with each other. They know how to. One says something, the other two. One might be quiet while the other person might say another, and they almost like ping pong.
Yeah.
And they bounce off each other fairly well.
The comedy really works well.
And it's written it's
written in a way that you feel that they've known each other literally for years, and there's a shorthand that oh God, okay, I call this guy Matt.
They got their cliff notes from each other.
Yes, and it works. The comedy, for some reason, and that was the part that I was worried about. I was like, oh God, from 2001 to 2018, comedies change. They've gotten older. Can they still carry it the way they did in 2001? And they do.
And yes. And this is a funny film.
It's a funny film. I do agree with that, and I think the acting is really good for a comedy movie with them. I don't think a beat is missed. I think they're throwing a lot at the wall, but I don't.
Yeah. It's like a what was the painter, the Pollock painting?
Oh yeah.
They're throwing a lot there, but if you stand back, it does look good.
It does look good, and it does work. And like I said, I think the standout for me always, and it was in the first film too, is definitely the character of Farva. Farva's the really annoying one, the one that, yeah, Yeah, now you're now. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. He's like
The very beyond obnoxious.
he's like, I want 10 liters of cola now,
No.
now. Yeah, or that there's a scene where he's like, well, you know, why did she get with him instead of me? I mean,
So yes, we all know. Yes,
yeah, we all know.
We get why
get
she
it.
wants him instead of you.
Instead of you, like he's funny. He's obnoxious, but he's not obnoxious to the point of.
It's not funny. It's
nice to the point of like, oh, this is kind of I see the humor in here. I see that he has somewhat good intentions, but he kind of, you know, doesn't know when to, like, you know, stop. Whereas some people are just flat out annoying for being annoying. He's not. And I like that. And I like again, the comedy, whether it's the female hormone pills, or, you know, or like the whole idea of possibly shaving somebody's balls.
because you're a rookie.
Because you're a rookie.
Yeah,
it's, you know, or like that whole thing in like the brothel thing.
Yeah, speed batting the guy's penis. It's definitely a. That is
it's funny.
It's a ridiculous scene.
It's ridiculous and it's funny and it works. And I gotta give people like Rob Lowe a lot of credit for doing things comedy wise like this, where you gotta go a little bit outside of your comfort zone a little bit.
And you know, it's a funny thing about that.
What?
Before you grade it, is like I remember Rob Lowe when he first came out.
Yeah.
And then he did not even just the sex tape, but when like after.
Yeah.
And you don't consider Rob Lowe like a comedic actor.
No.
I never like, but now it works.
It does.
With let's see, with David Spade and Chris Farley.
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
And there's been a few others, and now this, and it's just like he's great.
He's good. I think people should maybe try to cast him in a little bit more comedies.
Definitely.
I think if it works. I mean, no, he's great in it. Like I think
There's a TV show he was on that was funny, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I'm blanking now. About that. But no, and you know what? I think the movie looks good. It's filmed well. You know. It's not cheap. You actually, if you're a backer of the campaign that they did, you're going to go into this movie and you're going to be like, wow, they spent the money well.
It wasn't hookers and cocaine.
It wasn't.
Actually spent money on a film. They didn't rip you off.
No, they didn't rip you off. And trust me, some of those campaigns, they rip you off.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. You actually feel like the money was really well spent in a lot of great places, that they got a lot of great talent and the comedy hits. And, you know, I hope this is a new era for them. I think they had that small run of, like I said, Super Troopers and Club Dread and Beer Fest and a couple others. I'm hoping that this is sort of a new, like, little era for them again, where they can do this and they can do something like another Beer Fest movie or something like that, or like Weed Fest.
If it takes like 9 whatever years to make another film, but still be good, I say it's worth it.
I say it is.
If that's what it takes, but I say, hey, it's a long time between movies, but I say it's worth it.
It is worth it, and like I said, you know, movies. I've been worried about movies in the past that have been like this. Like, for instance, I was incredibly worried about something like Clerks 2 that came out so many years later, and that was good. And again, years later, sequels happening, and even like you could maybe pull it off with other stuff like a Star Wars or stuff like that.
Yeah, but that even now, that's they should let that settle quick.
True.
They should just like, okay, let's take at least 3 years, not a movie every year, because it's just like comic book movies. Sooner or later, people are gonna get tired of it.
People are going to get tired of it, but for me personally, as I've said a number of times, comedy sequels, I think, are tougher to do many, many years later because, again, I think that as we talked about, comedies change, people change, you get more mature, you maybe don't have that same sense of humor that you had.
I might have to disagree with that one.
Okay.
As long as it's not too long.
Okay.
I'd say maybe every 5 so years to let it
Sort of simmer.
Just let it settle.
Okay.
And then bring the comedy so it stirred it all up.
Oh no,
I think it might, because if you do it like every couple of years on time, it's like, oh, we all know the jokes are going to be on this one again. Predictable City.
True. And
on the left, here we go.
And I don't think this movie had a lot of predictable moments. I don't think.
No.
I think the comedy was really good. I mean, what are your other thoughts in grade rating? You know, for the Super Troopers 2.
Okay. I do like this film.
Okay.
And
yes.
Grade rating. Wow, it surprised me. I came in with low expectations.
I mean, if you had to say, okay, these are the comedies that I love. These are the comedies that I hate. Where is it?
I'm in between a B and a B plus.
Okay. You definitely rating it high, probably higher than you would have thought.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy, Seth is dragging me to this one. Here we go. Here we go.
I drag you to a lot of stuff, but
well, here and there. But yeah, I will give it a B plus.
Okay.
Final grade, B plus.
For me, look, I was incredibly worried, and this movie is also directed by J. Chandrasekhar, and hopefully I'm not butchering the name. He directed, of course, Super Troopers. He directed Club Dread and Beer Fest. He also directed the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Okay.
And a couple of other things. These guys, the Broken Lizard crew, are friends. They've been longtime friends, and you know what? Something in the movies, all of them, you can feel it. You can feel that they've been friends for a long time, that they have a rapport with one another, and that they've been wanting to make this movie for a really long time. And studios didn't really want to back them, and they didn't think that it was bankable, so they went to the fans, and the fans provided for them. And so they provided back for the fans. And it's a really, really solid, great comedy sequel that I highly encourage people to watch, even if they're a little bit kind of, I'm not sure, like you were.
It's definitely worth a watch.
It's definitely worth a watch. So for me, I'm also really going to give it a high B plus. I am. It's definitely absolutely worth it. And you know what? Not a lot of comedies really hit nowadays. So this is absolutely one that's definitely worth the price to go see, in my opinion. Yeah, there is that too.
There's the Jackass film, or I don't know what the name of the film, but the preview that we got was
Action Point.
Johnny Knoxville has a new film coming out. I think in the summer? In
the summer, which we will have to.
I would love to see. That is hilarious.
We will have to see that.
Holy flocka-doo-doo-doo. It is funny. I think it might be this generation, for me anyway, Dumb and Dumber. Because Bad Grandpa, it was funny. That was a funny film. So,
in the meantime.
Here comes Props.
Where did my fake mustache go to?
I think you said it.
Did I say that?
Oh my goodness. You know what?
Hold on. No.
This looks really bad for your
No, this does not look bad.
Now.
They love it. You guys love the problem. Oh! Spare one. I always keep a spare one. How about that mustache ride?
My stomach is turning.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And we will be back next time for another movie review. Where's my liter of cola, bitch?
Not there. We gotta go get it.
Oh, okay. See you later, guys.